I don't think that an extended introduction is needed. Everyone knows Tarantino from Reservoir Dogs to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and now his upcoming, famous 10th and final film. What I find interesting about Tarantino is that even though a lot of people talk about his life or movies, there's not much content on his style of directing. And today, we're gonna jump right into it. What is Tarantino famous for? We can easily notice his passion for cinema and his knowledge of the domain in basically any interview he has given over the years. Well, it has to be a competent one though.
Well, violence is such a big part of all of your movies, and it's an enjoyable part of your movies for so many people.
And you know where I stand on it.
Which is that there's no relationship.
Yes, it's none of your damn business what I think about that.
Well, it's my job
because
you're very
saying
influential.
no.
You have a responsibility as a filmmaker, surely, to...
No, I don't have any responsibility to you to explain anything I don't want to.
Not to me, but to your viewers.
Alright, as I was saying earlier, let's talk about his style. He's famous for being the so-called master of dialogue. His movies are loaded with tension-induced punchlines, but what is even more important for him is that he's the type of director that really stick to the script. There's not much room for improvisation. It does happen, but not a lot. What we have to understand from that is that because he doesn't have to focus too much on the lines themselves, he can give more attention at the way they are spoken by the actors.
So he was, again, a tyrant.
Tyrant in the sense that does he insist on every word being just the way he wrote it?
But that's what you want. The first day of rehearsal, I'm reading my lines like, and he said, cut. Can I talk to you for a second? What the fuck is that? You have to be a fucking slave. He's not cool. He's a fucking slave.
Right.
He doesn't know how to read. You come in with your fucking Louis bag and your fucking Range Rover. You're not Jim Brown. He's a fucking slave. And then he becomes the hero. But lose that shit. Door swings open, he walks out.
Another aspect of Tarantino's style shows itself in basically every movie he's ever directed. I am obviously talking about the explicit. As often seen in spaghetti western, Quentin uses silence as a tension catalyst. He then mixes it with crude violence to create a cathartic release that's unique to his cinema. Viewers either get attracted or disgusted, or sometimes even both at the view of this mix. The least I can say is that it is entertaining, and that's exactly what Tarantino aims at to create a good picture. Enough talking about violence. Now, it's time to tackle one trick that Tarantino borrowed from classical 70s kung fu movies.
Thanks very much.
The whip zoom, or as I like to call it, the crash zoom. It's a unique camera technique that immerses the viewer into the action and quickly moves the focus onto one specific element. Nowadays, it's more often used to accentuate a documentary type of realism to movies. But here, Tarantino used it as seen in the classic, The Way of the Dragon.
Get him!
There's much more that we could talk about, but at last, we have to acknowledge the fact that Tarantino is also famous because of his all-star cast. As he said himself, the actors he picked have each of their own unique ways of saying the line he wrote, and that between the paper and the film, there's a huge element of talent that comes into play. Thanks everyone for listening to my first video on a director. If you would like to see more of it, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll be uploading weekly videos about film on this channel. Have a good one.